Okay, so I went back and forth on how to start this thing. We're shooting our 400th episode of the Hodgepodge podcast, and I am guest host Shyra Galloway here interviewing Dylan Hodge, owner of the Hodgepodge podcast. At first I was like, oh, should I start with like a rap or come in with a song intro or do like a wrestling? It's too much. Like, Dylan Hodge.
You're by yourself, or you?
That's how I was gonna.
Add it in.
I was gonna start it.
Oh. Hey,
but it was too much. So I just do like, yeah. So this is who I am. This is who you are. Balloon drop. So the balloons just dropped in the building.
Fell.
Y'all can't see it because it's a podcast. But yeah, it's straight up balloon drop. So Dylan, 400th episode. Mm-hmm. How does it feel?
People don't get to 400 and not make no money. So I'm still making no money. So I'm doing it because I love it.
Right. So episode 400, you've been doing this for how many years?
4.
4 years, like 100 episodes a year? Wow.
Which that's not normal. Because when I first started out, I was just, if I recorded 3 in a day, I would put all 3 out in a day. It was just, hey, boom, 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 trying to put it out there. And then you realize you're killing yourself. And so probably a year in, I was like, you know what? We're going to go to like 2 or 3 episodes a week. Maybe. And now it's just every Monday and Wednesday when we do the simulcast. So
yeah,
kind of slowing down.
So standard, I guess, other podcasts, how many? I guess they all vary, huh?
No,
the ones that I listen to, other than the Hodgepodge, which aren't many, honestly, but they're like, maybe I think one is weekly, but most are like bi-weekly or monthly.
It depends. Yeah, like a regular podcast is like a weekly. You get 1 episode a week, and so it takes them forever to get to 100 episodes, whatever.
Right.
Kind of like a TV show.
So when you said 400, like will you interview me for my 400th episode? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I couldn't even believe you got to 400.
I just wanted something different because I got you and like other people gonna do it. I just wanted.
Yeah, but I'm like the most important person.
Yeah, that's why you're first.
Yeah, of course.
Why you're first.
So for the listeners, I was asked first, and I am the first, and just go with it, Dylan.
Okay, I'll go with it.
I was asked first.
Okay.
Let me be selfish. Right. I am the host today.
You were asked first.
So from episode 1 to 399. Professionally, how much have you grown, in your opinion?
Tremendous, because I can go back. I don't listen to any of those first episodes.
They suck.
I didn't realize how, because I've been using the same recording system since I started.
Wow.
It's free. That's the best part. It's free. So, and I know how to use it. But back then, I didn't realize you could take music or whatever I wanted to do and pay people for actual theme song or whatever. So I would just take music from my phone and put it up to the laptop and play it. And it sounded like crap. Like it sounded muffled. But that's what you do when you start. And I was a kid when I started out. I was right out of high school.
Right.
So I didn't really care.
Because you're what, 23 now?
Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
And then I had people. It's funny. People were talking over the phone. And I'd be like, "Hey, play a song." You can't sing and play guitar over phone and it sound good. So those were when it finally, because I wasn't accepted to get on iTunes and not like that at first. Like this just happened 19 maybe, 2000, something like that. And so when I had to put it on there, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna delete all of that, the bad stuff, and just put in the theme song that I have now, because it was, man, Shyra, it was
a learning process.
Yeah, and now I'm like, okay, we have to do it this way, because if we don't do it this way, then it's going to be, I'm just OCD in certain ways.
Yeah.
And doing this is like, research sometimes, look, I research now. I used to not research back then. I used to, but now I learned that if you don't research, you could get somebody that's not very talkative, but still want to do the podcast, which I still don't understand. Why do you want to do the show if you're not very talkative? So I have notes just in case that happens. And I learned, one of the main things I learned is a podcast doesn't necessarily have to be an interview questionnaire about the person. So now I've just kind of taken the reins and it's just a chit-chat show.
Yeah, just conversation.
And I think those, for one, work better with the guests we have on and allow me to get more people. I mean, I just had a freaking New York Times bestseller on.
Right?
Which was shocking to me. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get set
And
up.
boom.
And then it's like, I'm trying to teach everybody else, if you do it this way, that's fine. But you need to branch out from other things, because if you just stick in the music category, that's fine. But you're going to grow bored of it quickly.
Right.
You know?
And you want, ultimately, you want the most listeners possible. And, listeners, this is how you make money, but these listeners like different things.
Well, that's not how you get money. You get money based on the sponsorships.
The commercials? Well, I call them commercials.
Yeah, commercials. Well, see, that's how it works. So, if you have average 30 people, you're not going to get somebody for 30 people because that's not enough business for them. So, I think once I reached a certain, I think it was like 50,000, something like that, people were like, I could go to them and they'd be like, okay, you're not the biggest, but you're okay, well, we could at least make some money back. And then, obviously advertising, don't do every episode, they do this episode here or whatever. But
so the more people, the better.
You don't make money just on the listens.
The more people, the better the sponsorship opportunities.
Right.
Got it. So talking about listeners, where do the bulk of your listeners come from? Because we're in Mississippi.
Yeah.
I know you're the biggest podcast
out
in the
country,
state.
Out of country.
Wow.
Which is weird because it's mostly. It's weird because Canada is like 40%. Ganda is what freaked me out was because you look at Ganda from social media and you're like, oh wow, they're thirsty, they're hungry. But then you actually go and you research and you're like, no, there's actually a lot of people that are just living just like us.
Right.
Ganda's like 10%. I mean, it's the majority of the United States, but there's a big portion outside of the country that I was like, whoa.
That's major.
That's like 50, I think it's 50 in the United States. But it varies because you have different people on. Nobody's, you may have 1,000 regular listeners that listen every week, but I don't listen to every show of every time they put something on my favorite stuff.
Me neither.
Because of for example, like Chris Jericho. One of the reasons I'm doing one of my heroes, right? I don't listen to every episode because sometimes I don't know who they're talking about.
Right.
Which I don't blame them. I'm like, should this episode go up? Sure, they're not that big of a name, but and then those wind up being the ones.
Right. Somebody wants to hear them.
Yeah.
So who? So talking about big, who's your biggest interviewee in your opinion that you've had so far, other than me? Just throwing it out there. Other than myself.
What are you asking?
Like most famous to you. Let's say most famous.
Okay.
Other than myself, because I know I'm pretty famous to you.
Most famous.
It's tough.
No, not really. And I'm not being that cocky when I say it's hard because it depends on what you define as famous. Because I had Jason Marsden, which he does a lot of voices for Mickey Mouse and Nickelodeon. And then I had, I'll give you this one. And I think this is the biggest one because of this reason. I had Jeannie Seeley.
Okay.
And Jeannie Seeley is in the Grand Ole Opry Hall of Fame. She sang with Willie Nelson. She's just big artist that people knew back in the day. Now, you could argue and say Kent Blasey, which is a songwriter wrote some major songs.
I remember that one.
It just varies on what you define as famous. But out of that realm, if you're just saying probably most known, people are not going to know the songwriters that much.
Right.
So I would say probably just from her legend standpoint, Jeannie Seeley.
Cool. So
as of right now, because we got more than we've recorded that.
Yeah, don't give us a sneak.
Oh, I'm not going to. I've learned that.
Some big stuff coming. I can feel it.
Yeah.
You gonna tell us one? Don't tell us one. No.
I'll tell you one.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Surprise us.
All right.
Well, by the time this airs,
I'm not going to say it. I'm working on it. I possibly, I had Little Richard and then he died. I had Little Richard and he died.
Oh wow.
I possibly have Bret Michaels from Poison. I know a really good friend of mine that's friends with Bret Michaels. And I was like,
wow.
Dude,
that'd be awesome.
How much does he want? Because if you have to pay, I'll pay. It's just, but some people are just like $45,000. Well,
Well, you
no,
know.
I'm all right. But he was like, no, he would do it for a favor for me. And I'm like, let's get this set up then. I mean, if you're
That'd
do it
be
for
awesome.
a favor, pulling it out.
All right, speaking of favors,
Mm-hmm.
let's do I'm gonna run down some favorites. I want you to I'm gonna say favorite, whatever.
Okay, I got
Don't
you.
think about
you're
it.
doing it like I do.
Just, I'm not doing like you do. I'm doing like I do. I'm the host.
Okay.
You do a favorite thing, don't you, though?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Go ahead.
okay. Well, I guess I'm doing like you. I thought I was being creative. But anyways, favorite fast food restaurant.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Yeah, I like Chick-fil-A.
I
The
think
lines
they
are so long.
Yeah, but it goes
But-
quickly.
Yes. Talk
Because they
about
have a
organization. Man.
Because they have somebody at each corner. If the line is out to the, let's just say,
Their line can be wrapped twice around the building,
you're gonna
and it's
get out
faster
10
than
times
if you
quicker
go to
than
McDonald's.
through McDonald's.
Yep. Every
and just
time.
order one cheeseburger.
Every time.
I went and got a sweet tea one time because I think they have the best sweet tea.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
I went there. I was like, I need a sweet tea. You know, I waited 30 minutes for a tea. And I was like, if I didn't have nowhere to be, you wouldn't even. I'd just walk out.
Right. It's always when you have something to do, you're like, it's like, okay, I gotta be there in 5 minutes, and they're like, will you pull up to stall 1?
Man, I ordered a tea.
Ugh.
How long
I
does it
hate
take
it.
to
I
get-
hate it. I hate it. All right, favorite movie.
Man, Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
I actually love that movie.
Bec- I watched Meet the Fockers the most when I was little, but for some reason my parents let me watch it. Don't know why.
I was
but
about to say, when you were little.
I was probably 8, 9. Literally, it was watching it. Was like, this movie's great.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Meet the Parents. I mean, you can throw some Marvel stuff in there, but Meet the Parents. for
Meet
sure.
the Parents
Meet the
over
Parents.
Marvel over. Okay.
Well,
All
it's
right.
just it's a nostalgic thing.
Yeah.
It's like music, nostalgic. You know?
Yeah. Favorite show on Netflix.
Currently or just of all time?
Currently.
Oh,
We'll do both. Currently first,
Cobra Kai.
of course.
Oh my goodness.
I still haven't watched it.
Have you? Okay, I wasn't gonna watch it because I watched Karate Kid and
I
was like,
learned about it from you. You
Okay.
posted about it
okay,
on Facebook, and I was like, I don't watch that.
I'm not that big of a Karate Kid. I've watched it. I watched
No,
all of it.
I loved Karate Kid growing up.
Then you'll like the movie. And I knew what happened, but I wasn't, invested. Like, this is that person. But in my opinion, this is better than the entire movie series.
Really?
I'm telling you, because because people were talking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch it. I had a free day.
Yeah.
So I watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop it because I'm gonna let the whole family watch it because I know everybody's gonna love it. And it was like the first episode. We were like, watch the next one. Watch the next one.
See, that's what I'm afraid of. Because you know what you did? You did that. Okay, you posted about Cobra Kai.
Yep.
And I was like, nope, because I don't have time
Yep.
right now to get stuck in front of my TV watching
You have
Cobra Kai.
time.
Do not. But
It's
you know what you
important.
did? What you posted about, and I sat there and lost like 2 days of my life. With oh gosh, what Carol Baskin and them.
Tiger King.
Tiger King. I
Long
literally
time ago.
watched it like I did not get up from the couch.
Yeah.
It was pretty sad
Yeah.
that I sat there that long.
And I'm
But
glad
yeah.
that Joey did not get pardoned. Besides the fact that
Man.
he's a bad dude. Did you know he faked cancer? Did you see that?
I didn't
It
see
came out
that.
a few months, probably longer than that, way before Christmas, it came out that he was
Wow.
faking cancer to get money.
So I followed it and then
I did too. I followed it and fell off.
I fell off. I was
I-
like, you know what? I'm losing way too many brain cells right now trying to keep up
Worried
with
about a
Tiger
dude that
King.
takes care
Like,
of a dude. I didn't care. I watched it, fell off. Yeah.
but I like so my daughter, she now calls any tiger print Carol Baskin. She'll be like, "Oh, you wearing your Carol
Did you see
Baskins
she did
today?"
Dancing with the Stars?
It was, in my opinion, horrible.
It was bad. Just
It was like, and we watch Dancing with the Stars religiously
I hate that.
in my house. I love it. We love
Yeah.
it. The kid loves it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right.
I was like, what
Yeah.
is that? It was horrible.
She
And there have
danced
been
to
some horrible people on there. And you know, that's part of it. Like, you get someone who's quote unquote famous, put them on the show,
Yeah.
see what they got. But,
I
man.
I know people that not stars that have competed, but have worked on that show as like producers, and it's just backstage people. That
Mhm.
show is so rigged. And now I can point out to you let me tell you, they knew exactly who was going to win, who they want to win, and they're going to make that person win. Like a couple years ago when Bobby Bones, when he won it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He won it because of the fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people were constantly voting. And then they were like, no, we wanted that Disney kid to win. And I knew somebody that worked behind the scenes was like, look, this guy was not going to beat the Disney kid, even if the judges didn't want him to because of the fan vote. And then they just changed the whole system and they rigged it more. And I'm like, and the stars are always washed up people or somebody you don't know of. like that Masked Singer?
Oh yeah,
But
I actually like that show.
No, I like it too.
I thought it was the dumbest concept at first, but then when I watched the first couple episodes, I was like, oh, this is actually really good. I like when they had Lil Wayne on there. I actually knew that it was him.
There were.
I'm like, there's some. I'm like, okay, that there's no other voice.
Like for me, one that I knew was JoJo Siwa, just because she's so freaking loud. I want to tell you something. And I said, hey, that's JoJo Siwa.
Gotta be, it's no one else.
It was, and I was like, because I'm good with clues, just because.
I do like that part of it.
I read a lot, and I research like it's stupid. Like I'm gonna see these, and I'm gonna go like, where did those come from, and why did they start making them? And I'm gonna know everything about it. Yeah. And then I'm gonna book the person. Hey, guess what I just learned about? So I'm kind of.
That's amazing.
Like that Chris Rock Black Hair documentary. I was like, you gotta watch it.
Yes. So I still have not watched it, but it is at the top of my to-watch list. But nuts. I have to watch it because I am black and I do have black hair.
What makes you think that?
Yeah, I don't know if the listeners know or not, but yeah, this is all day long. And so when you told me about the documentary, I was like, what?
Well, you think about it.
I'd never even heard of it before you told me. But just the facts that you have told me, I'm like, wow, you're teaching me about my own heritage at this point, and my own hair.
Yeah.
But I am glad that you know the struggle that black women go through.
Yeah, I didn't know you had to lay on silk pillowcases.
Man, what? If you want your hair?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just figured it was.
You know all about protective
styles.
You know, I do. Or sometimes I'll wear a silk bonnet. Yeah. If I'm just sleeping on a regular old cotton pillowcase.
You were thinking Chris Rock, and I was thinking it was going to be something silly because it's Chris Rock.
And it was dead serious.
Well, I mean, obviously it's joking, it's funny, but it was a strict documentary. Like, look,
they did research.
This, and I'm like,
when you were giving me those facts, I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, wow, I've got to watch this.
I've got this 5-subject notebook at the house. And I read religiously too because I like to learn. Don't look at that 5-subject notebook unless you just want to be, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because I read that Steve Jobs book. For me, he fascinates me. And I was like,
which one?
By Walter Isaacson. It's just strictly Steve Jobs.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Into it.
And I have 22 pages of just notes from the book. And I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. It may not make sense, but and I write it down. I know Steve Jobs' full story just from those notes. I'm a mess. I'm a mess.
You're not a mess.
I'm a mess.
What's your favorite Netflix show of all times?
I don't even know if I watch Netflix enough.
You don't have to answer.
Oh, The Ranch.
The Ranch.
The Ranch.
I don't know that one.
I'm a big Ashton Kutcher fan.
I didn't know that for some reason.
I'm a big Dak Shepard fan. And basically, it's the longest running Netflix show.
Huh.
Original, because they get shows from different networks.
Right.
So what it's about is this dad, which is Sam Elliott, the mustache guy, and Ashton Kutcher's brother, and they work on a ranch. And it's about struggles that people have on a ranch, but it's a sitcom. So they did it differently instead of having it like This Is Us. So that way they do with the live audience.
Huh.
I'm just a big Ashton Kutcher fan, so anything Ashton Kutcher is for me, I don't know.
I like him too. What's your favorite song?
Stop This Train, John Mayer.
I think I knew that.
You do that?
Yeah. I think that was from when you interviewed me, maybe. We were talking about John Mayer.
Probably.
Yeah. And that one time.
Yeah, John.
Concert.
Man, and I'm different with music because I like the slow stuff. For me, if an album has no slow songs, the album's terrible.
Really?
Like, I was looking at Michael Jackson Thriller. I've got, because I collect records, and I've got the original Thriller and the original Bad. I love Bad over Thriller. That's an unpopular opinion. I love Bad over Thriller because there's more slow songs on it.
Wow.
Compared to Thriller.
Never even.
Because there's like one or two, and then like Bad has like 6 or 7. I'm like, yes.
Now I'm gonna have to go listen to both.
But no, Stop This Train is about how he's getting older, and he wants to slow down. He's like, hey, stop the train. Let's go back in time. And one line that really made me think was, so scared of getting older, don't want to see my parents go. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get older, they're going to leave,
yeah.
they're going to die. And you're just like, stop it right now. Let's get off and undo the train. It's
deep.
It's deep.
Yeah, that's deep. What's your favorite color?
Red. I thought you were going to throw that in there. We just discussed that.
So before we started filming, recording, I learned that your favorite color was red,
Yep.
and mine is as well. And then you gave me a little
I know where you're going
nugget, but I stopped you. I stopped you on this.
Yeah,
You said your favorite color was red, but
I like white.
You like white.
Because, I'll tell you why. My studio walls are white. I got white comforter, white sheets, white pillowcases.
just clean.
Well, that and it makes me feel like I have money. And I'll tell you why. Because have you looked at the reality shows lately, or anybody that's famous on Instagram? Everything they have is white. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I like white because of that reason. And I know it probably makes me seem cocky, but it keeps me going. It keeps me like,
Well, yeah.
And then mom's got this nasty mucus color in the living room. And I'm like, ugh.
Mucus.
Yeah, it's like a mucus brown.
Your mom's gonna hear this.
I don't care.
I like white too, though. My nails, people that know me know my nails are always white, and anytime my nails aren't white, it's like, well, it's only been like maybe 3 times.
Well, I got you beat. My skin's
It's like,
white.
what? Your skin is white?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No, people think I'm Asian a lot.
Are you serious?
No.
I was about to say,
no.
Dylan. Who thought you were Asian?
I will take my clothes off in a strip club, and they will pay me to put them back on. I'm that white, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen your legs, but I'm pretty sure
You don't want to.
they're probably pretty
Yeah,
pale.
it's bad white.
They're pretty. I'm just gonna say pretty pale.
Hey, they got tanner.
So what? Who's I know you got some big people, some big interviewees coming up on your podcast. But who is someone like that you just dream of interviewing one day, or someone's?
Aerosmith.
Wow.
Because it's my favorite band of all time. And you're not going to get them. But it's like...
Don't say that. You don't know you're not going to get them. One day, episode
One day,
800, you might.
96-year-old Steven Tyler Center goes, well...
You never know.
Never know. But yeah, you never know.
Just speak it into
There's
existence.
a lot. There's a lot. Like, Dwayne Johnson's one of them.
Well, you know my obsession.
Your husband?
You know. I don't know.
For a
I'm
while, I
telling
hated
you.
Dwayne Johnson.
We're not.
Let me tell you why. Because
You're not gonna disrespect
I'm a wrestling. I'm a wrestling.
Dwayne Johnson.
But
I know.
This makes sense. Just listen to me.
You have
And-
5 seconds.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you. I'll give up my 5 seconds.
Take your time.
He used to be in wrestling, right? The Rock.
Of course.
Oh, The Rock.
Of course.
And I'm a big wrestling fan. And when he left wrestling to go to movies, it was kind of like, okay, what are you doing? He was going the Hulk Hogan stage. We're going to do movies and then come back to wrestling. He did it. Only way he came back to wrestling for a brief period was to promote a movie he had coming out or to win a championship he hadn't won. And I was like, okay, I thought that was dickish. And then he changed his name from Dwayne The Rock to just Dwayne. But after you get into the entertainment business and then you just let it go. So, but now.
Now you're back okay with him?
Oh,
I'm still I've been obsessed with him since day one.
When he was rocking
From like,
Arabia.
yeah, from the first eyebrow raise I
First
saw.
eyebrow
I
I'll get you a cameo.
love him.
I'll get you a cameo for Christmas.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna hold you to that. Christmas 2021.
If you loan me $6,000, I'll get you a cameo.
This Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doable. We can work on it.
Goddamn.
Work on it.
Can you imagine people making that much money on Cameo?
Man,
People are paying Mike Tyson $1,500 to say a 60-second hello.
it's probably not even that long.
Well, they have to be.
They have to be 60 seconds?
Well, you can have a 30-second, 45-second, or just a duration. So if you go on there and say, you're going to pay me $1,000 for 60 minutes, it has to be 60 minutes or longer. Like I've seen people, when you pay $45, which I don't think is a lot, for somebody that you know, or that's known, and you do a 30-second spot, and then they wind up doing 90 seconds. That's people that appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like I've thought about paying $500 and getting Bret Hart.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But it's like $500. I ain't got that right now. Just
for like a couple seconds.
90
Yeah.
seconds.
That's still not.
It's still. I know. That's $500.
A minute and a half.
Yeah. I know.
So, what are some podcasts that you subscribe to?
Let me pull my phone up. I listen to.
I love the fact that you don't know like the names of things because I
Sometimes
struggle.
I do. I
never do.
I just go. I'm listening to Dak Shepard's podcast.
Yeah.
And
don't know.
I don't know. It's Armchair Expert. I know that, but in my head, I'm like, it's Dak Shepard.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to that. I listen to Business Wars. That's interesting. You heard that one?
Business Wars?
It's like they had Apple versus Android. And it was like, okay, when this was rising, this was falling, but this rose and made this rise.
Who are the people that are on? Like, are there people like...
No, it's one host.
Okay.
Business Wars is one host just giving information.
Just giving... Oh, okay.
Right, and then, let's see, Conan O'Brien. I'm a big comedy nerd. You know, I listen to that. I listen to What the Fuck with Mark Maron.
I've heard of that one.
Lindy, actually, our friend Lindy, from the podcast,
Lindy
sent me a text message, and she was like, listen to this podcast. I was like, what's it about? And she said, I don't know what was on the top list of the year. This is January, maybe. And I listened to it, and it was phenomenal. I haven't listened to the actual full show. I just listened to that one episode. I'm like, I'm keeping it on there for stuff like that. And what it was this guy was at a bar with his girl, wife, whatever she was. And he was like, hey, you ever heard this song? And it was like a da-da-da-da-da-da, just a hum. And she's like, no. And he's like, no, the words are this. And he couldn't find it nowhere. Couldn't find it Google. So he got with these people from the podcast and was like, I have this song in my head. I know it's a song, but I can't find it nowhere. And they were like, well, let's go research it. They couldn't find it. And they said, you know, we have people through iHeartRadio. Let's go get you singing the song with a band. You tell them how the song went, and you sing the lyrics, and we'll pitch it out.
Wow.
And so they were like, okay, and he did it, all to find one name of a song, but it made an hour-and-a-half podcast. So they kind of benefited from it, too. And it all turned out to be from a no-name person that made it big at one point and dropped off the face of the earth and had that one song.
Just a one-hit wonder.
A one-hit wonder.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
That's crazy.
It was great. And I was like, I'm going to keep this show because if that show does anything like that, I will listen.
Right. Because it's probably going to
and then there's
blow
some
up.
music stuff and other comedy stuff.
You know what's crazy? You interviewed me last year. It was last year?
Was it last year? Or the year before?
No, it was last year. Yes, it was last year.
Okay.
I feel like it was around this time last year. Because I just...
Maybe so.
When it aired, we were on winter vacation at the Biltmore. So it had to have been sometime February or March. I feel like it might have been March. Anyways, on that show, I told
January
you.
January 22nd.
That's when we interviewed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it aired in February then, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know.
Anyways,
Anyways, on the show, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get back in school and finish my PhD. And
I don't remember that.
and I did. It's on there. Okay. But at the time that we interviewed, I did not have a plan. And then I also said, yeah, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. And we're at my real estate office.
Yeah, we're here.
Had no plan to do that either. So from me to you, thank you. Because your show, that interview allowed me to speak some things into existence that I had been afraid of. And I otherwise probably wouldn't have done. But once it like came out on your podcast, I was like, oh man, I got to do this. And I did it and I'm doing it. And you stayed on my butt about it. And so I appreciate you, friend to friend, sister to brother, for that. And I just want you
not
to...
blood, people, so don't go.
I mean...
Mom was messing around.
Yeah. I'm still black.
I mean, there was that Morgan Wallen email.
That one email. God. Man, let's talk about your emails, because I was about to wrap up. But I don't want to like, not too long, but how do you do such a great job at not losing your poop on these people when they send these stupid emails to you? People. There's no telling what they're gonna say about this one. Now you gotta me interview you.
Because
it's
I have
crazy.
The option to morph my business email with my regular email.
Mm-hmm.
That would happen because I'm never on my business email. I probably 1 or 2 times a month, maybe, because I try to reach out through my personal email just because it's easier and it already has the podcast logo.
Everything on it, yeah.
For some reason, if I send an email from my phone, I guess I set it up a long time ago. It's like hodgepodge, and I'm like, that doesn't look professional. So I sent it from my laptop or my iPad.
Yeah, you just go into settings and change it.
I tried. It didn't work.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
iPhone, right?
Yeah, iPhone.
Huh.
But it's just people. You're gonna have like that Morgan Wallen thing, right? People were complaining. It's only white people get mad about it. Yeah, because black people know black people are like that.
It's just crazy.
And then that email was rough. That email was like.
I was like, what? I was like, who is 2021? Like, we are not email bullying people anymore. Like this has to stop.
No,
like you always handle it much better than
I
probably I would. But
you know what I like? Yeah. One of my favorite things on Facebook. I hate Facebook. You know that I posted that email. I was like, look at
I saw it. I think I laughed at it.
It got freaking taken down for Facebook.
Did it?
Comment. Yeah.
You didn't say it.
It doesn't
but
matter.
I guess it doesn't matter because you posted
it. Had
it.
words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I hate Facebook for that reason because it's just people hate on that thing, man. It's like you can post a picture of I can post a picture of my nephew and get people going. That's ugly kid. I say that joking like I go like, you are not a cute kid. I'll say it to his face. I'm like, he's not cute. You know that. Everybody knows it's joking.
Everybody knows it's joking. But Facebook is going to block you. Like, they'll put you in Facebook jail. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's I just don't respond. I like what I like doing, though. I started this and it stopped. I like going on Facebook, speaking the truth, and let the comments roll and don't say nothing. I love doing that. Like,
I've seen a couple times.
The state with music nowadays. Let me tell you something. You don't sit there and say country music or regular music is this. You know the right to say that. And I just let it roll.
Man, I'm telling you. So, dating this guy, he loves country music. He's black.
I know, I see.
And
he took you on spa, huh?
Yeah, we had spa day yesterday, the day before Valentine's Day and all. Yeah, we had I had like a great whole Valentine's week, man.
A week?
Yeah.
Like you do a birth
like we
week.
did
You don't do a birthday, you do a birth week.
Right, you know, I actually do the month. But hey.
Oh, God, really?
No judgment.
So somebody's birthday was on the 31st of March or January. When would you celebrate? February or January?
See, if that were, okay, I would start like the 15th of the month and go until the 15th of the next month.
Okay, so what
so I can get like a full 30 days?
Well, what do you do? Like, if you're celebrating
I would celebrate like the big, like if I was going to do a trip. I would do my trip like my actual birthday weekend. Like if my birthday was 30th, 31st, I'd do my trip around that time or that week or a few days, you know. But I'd start like little stuff, like little spa days here, little girlfriend outings there. Like every week is a thing.
Okay.
And then after, you know, if you're on that 30th, 31st, listeners, do not cut yourself short. Don't sell yourself short because your birthday is the last day of the month. Go into that next month. Just say it. Get your 2 weeks. You might as well.
I hate birthdays, man.
Why? You did a horrible job of getting your birthday together this year. You started planning like 2 days before.
What are you talking about?
Your birthday this year just passed, like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
When you were like, what's there to do? You asked like 2 days before.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, who does that? I was like, I'm a horrible big sister at this point. What's there to do for my birthday?
Well, because
2 days
I was
before.
gonna go to the casino,
You know,
Yeah.
I would have had you planned out. Like, if I would have had a good week to plan it, oh, man, we could have had a whole... See, you could have had a week.
You wanted me to go axe throwing.
Just, I mean...
Who?
You said cheap!
That's
Axe
cheap.
throwing?
I mean, I can do it outside my house.
Or...
I mean, I can do it outside my house.
And that is how people get injured right there.
Yeah.
Axe throwing.
Yeah.
At home. No,
I
please don't.
am not even a man. I'm a
I'm
dude.
pretty sure it says, please don't try this at home. Like somewhere. Has to. Yeah. Do not go out in your yard with your nephew and axe throw. Ever. No.
I won't.
Okay, thanks. We're going to take you to the axe throwing.
My nephew sits inside and
Spot.
watches Toy Story 9 million times.
How cute is that?
No, I used to like Toy Story. I used to like Disney. I don't like that no more.
Why not?
Because I've seen it 3,000
Oh.
times.
You know what?
And it's what's funny, you know this, because you got he's Princess
Two.
Huh?
Yeah, Princess
Oh.
Two.
Well, if I can say that.
Oh, that's fine. You can say his name.
Because I don't say my nephew's name. Just for that reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, Princess 2. So you know that his brain is like a pea. You know, just...
Mm-hmm.
And so they act like they've seen that movie 0 times.
Mm-hmm.
And they're watching it for the first
It's
time.
brand new.
Brand new. And I'm like, I just restarted it.
Mm-mm. It's brand new.
It's brand new. And I'm like,
Same level
oh
of
my
excitement.
God. Same level. And it doesn't even go down.
We used to be the same way when we were kids.
I guess so.
You did.
I guess
You
so.
were. You were. Pretty sure.
But for you, like, TV wasn't even around.
TV, you know, when I was a kid, the TV was like, oh gosh, we had the cable, like this wind. I don't even know what it was. It wasn't cable, but there was like this
VCR?
knob that we had to
on the
turn. It was
TV?
like, like it was like a crank device
Yeah.
to change the freaking channels.
It's like that episode of Martin.
The fact that you just brought that up and I just aged myself.
What? Not that much older.
I got the listeners thinking I'm 21.
Could be.
And doggy.
She had her first kid
No.
when she was 8, ladies.
8. Or 6, you know, either.
That's like that episode
Man.
of Martin with the TV. You remember when he?
Oh yeah, when he got the big one, when he went. So we are both obsessed with Martin, and I love that about
Oh,
us.
it's not just Martin. It's 90s.
Yeah,
Like,
we had
I watched
good
Fresh Prince this
shows.
morning.
Oh yeah, I love
Did
Fresh
you watch
Prince
the
too.
Fresh Prince reunion?
I never did. You told me to watch it. You know, I never got around to. Dylan, I told you I'm always
I know.
busy, man. Like I never
Well,
got
see,
around to watching
and
it.
that-
It's on my
that's
list
what I
too.
hate about doing this because I committed to do movie reviews every week. That's killing me.
Oh wow,
I'm thinking
I didn't
about
know that.
stopping it.
I didn't know that.
Killing me.
Yeah, it's
Because
your.
it's
I mean, it's your show. It's your thing.
I know, but it's because sometimes those are the big reviews, and that's what gets.
Because people want to know. Because you know, honestly, I watch things that you tell me to watch.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste my time watching something. Like, what a busy person doesn't want to do is invest an hour, 55 minutes in something that was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather somebody tell me, like, oh my God, you got to see this because yada, 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 or this is crap, don't waste your time.
Well, here's a good thing. They call it taxes, and you can file that on taxes. Like, if I order a movie, like, we still have cable, okay?
We do too.
My parents are that old school.
I mean,
I
I get it. We have like everything. We have cable, Dish Network, I think.
Yeah, that's.
And then we have,
Netflix.
I
Hulu,
literally
Amazon
have,
Prime.
yes,
I'm-
Disney Plus. What is it? The NFL, all
I
that
don't know.
stuff. Hulu, like everything. I'm like, I have to be
And there's nothing
spending
to watch on any of them.
nothing. I spend so much money. I just had this conversation with the 14-year-old the other day. I'm like, do you know how much money we spend on like things to watch on TV?
Well, here's the thing.
And you're on your phone?
Here's the thing. I keep cable for them. Like, I pay that and the internet. I pay
Yeah.
my bills, right? But I pay cable and the internet strictly for the podcast and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I could cut. I'm sitting there thinking I could cut DirecTV off because,
Completely.
but my nighttime routine would be over with.
Yeah.
Because my nighttime routine is I turn to TV Land. So I was grateful the other night to just lay down at 6 o'clock in the afternoon
I don't even know what that feels like.
and just read a book for an hour and then watch TV. And because I don't really watch nothing but like movies. And every time I watch a movie, I'm like, I got to put this into my head that this is what's happening. I can't watch a movie for fun anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know.
You're too analytical.
Too analytical. But
That's me.
yeah, I could cut it, but then it's like, what if there's something that you want to watch? Like, because a lot of the stuff now don't come on Netflix or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like. Plus, if you let's say you cut that right, we live out in the sticks, because when we did that thing for the county, you did that. What was it called, the small business thing?
Yeah.
You wanted to come out to the house. For one, I don't like people coming to my house, and two, we live too far. It's behind the elementary school, but it's like out in the sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
And so our internet is, I'm serious, I'm dropping, I pay like $175 a month.
Yeah.
And
So do y'all have like the
we got
what is it called?
A satellite.
Satellite. Yeah. Well, I'm pointing to the sky.
They were stupid.
Like
I told them, I said,
yeah, it's expensive.
I think we paid an extra $50 to have them come out the day after or something like that. And I said, hey, can you stick the satellite on the side of the house, kind of like the cable guy did? And they said, sure. They stuck it in the ground. So now we have no, like, our internet is crappy at night. Like, if we want to watch Netflix, 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock until it gets dark. And I'm just like, and I called them and I complained. We're like, well, we can come move it, but it's going to cost you $150. What?
That's great. No.
And then they gave me my internet without Wi-Fi. And I'm like, I ordered Wi-Fi. So I had to go buy a router from Walmart to get Wi-Fi. And then they cut my bill for 2 months. But
I mean,
still, I'm like, whatever. But yeah, no, it's just like, think about it. You think, because you got everything too. Internet, stuff like that.
Yeah, everything.
How much are we're spending easily $500.
Easily. I literally, the other day I started to calculate, I was right at 400 and I didn't even know I had Hulu. This is when you know you got too much.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, because we were here one day and the boyfriend was here and I was trying to pull up a football game. And I'm like, I know I'm subscribed, like I'm paying for this, like NFL package. And or whatever the game, ESPN Plus is what it is.
Hey, I don't watch
so sports. I was like, oh, ESPN Plus, I know I'm paying for this. And so a couple days later, my daughter's like, yeah, we said something about Hulu. And I'm like, do I have Hulu? Because I was trying to do like a free subscription to watch something.
And then forget about
She's like, oh, we already have Hulu. I'm like, what? So I'm paying for all this stuff. Like, it's so much. So yeah, easily $500 or really close to it because I was at 400 without calculating stuff I don't even know I freaking have.
But we'll do this now. Say you cut cable out because we're easily paying $100 some a month.
It's
cable,
like
right?
$156. Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, use that for example.
And I watch Martin, Fresh Prince, Living Single, and like the news here and
I
there.
watch TV.
Family Feud.
Yeah.
That's literally
Take that, right? Take that 150. Calculate. You would still be spending 350. Now, all these new streaming services are coming out.
Yeah, and you know
Paramount.
Paramount.
And they're $10 a piece.
Paramount's about to have their own
Who?
streaming. Paramount movies.
Paramount?
What did I say? Paramount.
That's
I thought it was Mont.
MOUNT.
Is it?
Paramount. Yeah.
Oh, let you know I don't watch movies. But they're about to. I think the commercial came on during the Super Bowl.
So wait,
they're about to have their own streaming.
Does that mean everything that was on the Paramount network is leaving other streaming?
I don't know. So that's my question.
So I'm gonna get irritated because I watch Yellowstone.
Well, you might have
like
to. You might have to buy something else. But I did see that. I was like, oh wow, they're about to have their own. And I said to myself like, oh crap, there's another $20 a month.
But here's what you have: Peacock. That's NBC's app.
No.
That's free. That's what. But certain things are free, right? Like, so if you want to.
Yeah, I'd rather just pay for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
because you get like so far, and then it comes up like to continue.
Well,
subscribe. Like
Martin's on there, and you can watch every episode of Martin for free. Huh. But like, what I watch, like 2.5 Men or Big Bang Theory, you have to pay. You watch one episode and you pay for the rest, which I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah, that would irritate me.
But right.
I'd be like, let me just pay the $20, get it over with.
Right.
But I am interested in Paramount. There's a U in there?
I think so.
You know what? I think I'll say Paramount because I had a student years ago who was obsessed with it. It was like his thing. And that's what he would say, he was autistic. And that was his thing. Like he was fixated on it. You know, all the little small print underneath? Like he knew everything it said. To my eyes, I couldn't even read it. But he's an adult now.
But
he would say Paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how he said it. So I never even knew that there was a U in it. This podcast has taught me something. You know, I'm about to have a PhD next year, and I don't even know. I didn't even know there was a U.
I should replace you. But that's interesting. What is something like that you know? Without
oh gosh, I don't know. Something like that I know that I don't have to look.
Or even like for me, I know, and
it'd be like music, like a so because I was like a musician. I was in band. I was band geek. Like some things, like even the Paramount, like the song, right? Like the intro music.
Okay.
Like I hear like all of the French horns. Like I can sing parts that most people don't even know are parts. So that's what, like, in terms of like what's something I know, like to see written that I don't even. But yeah, like in a lot of songs, like I pull out all of those pieces. I feel like I've said that before. I might have said that on my interview.
I've had arguments with people because I'm just so like, what is it called? Like obsessive.
Yeah. Like OCD?
Kind of, but like obsessive in different ways.
Like, over print,
okay. Like if I watch Friends, right? And I've watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I watched that more than Martin. And I watched Fresh Prince 4 times, but I've only seen Friends 3 times. I will go through and watch the whole Friends 4 times to match it even with Fresh Prince. And then I'm like, wow. Wait, I've seen this episode more, so now I gotta go watch another
okay,
episode.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? But it's like
that's next level.
Each one of King of Queens for me is my favorite show of all time.
Really?
And I can go through
never watched
within the first 10 seconds, can tell you exactly what's gonna happen in every episode.
Yeah, but see, I'm like that with Martin, which you already know.
Yeah.
Because we'll be like texting something will come on one of the episodes, and like I can tell you everything, like from the time where people are gonna start laughing.
What's your favorite Martin episode? Mine is
the one with the freaking plumber.
Okay.
When they thought he was dead.
Mine is where he goes gets the driver's license, where he has to take the driver's test, and he goes like this, beats the guy up, and he goes up there, and he says, "Sir, can't give you license. Why not?" He says you need corrected lenses. He swapped it. And he has to come in there, can't see with the glasses on.
Man, I love that plumber episode. And they did a little funeral. He's like, DP. They're like, Gina's like, oh, that's so sweet. He's like, dead plumber. And when they start singing Old Man River, that was pretty epic.
They got the whole series at Walmart for like $10.
I saw that. I actually owned it many moons ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It got lost
it's
in one of the moves.
Anymore.
Yeah, and so now I'm like, we don't really want to invest in DVDs. I mean, I still have a DVD player, but for how long?
Well, I got a PlayStation that plays all that stuff. So.
Yeah. So, last question.
Okay.
Of my interview.
All right.
400th episode.
An hour in?
We're an hour in?
50 minutes. But yeah.
Oh, wow. This is awesome. Time flies when you're having fun. So, sometimes right.
Sometimes it's one of that fun that just slows by, like at Chuck E. Cheese.
Right? It's like, wee!
The best part at Chuck E. Cheese was I was dressed
cashing those tickets in?
No, dressing up as a rat.
Oh.
Just because it took you time from the kitchen.
I could never work at Chuck E. Cheese, I'm pretty sure.
I was desperate, okay?
Yeah.
A lot had happened with our family. I was like, I gotta have something.
Yeah. And I get that.
Yeah.
I think I would go crazy. I love kids, but I don't like, even like all my years as an educator, I don't like kids like that. Like to be like around that many kids in an uncontrolled environment.
Get kicked in the nuts a lot.
Oh my gosh.
And then the rule is.
And then the germs.
You're not allowed to talk to the kids in the costume.
Right, because the rat doesn't talk, right?
Hey, I mean, he does.
Does he have a voice? Maybe I'm thinking about Mickey.
Here's the thing. I was in costume one day, right? And this kid just kept kicking me in the back of my leg as I was walking. Because you walk around the game room and you're like, hey, you hold a sign, hey, come get free tickets.
Right.
So they come around and wouldn't stop kicking me. So I turn around and you do the little wag your finger at him. Like, no, because you can't talk.
Can't talk, okay.
And then he kept doing it. And you just put his hand on his shoulder. You say, wag your finger. No, don't stop. Finally, he kicked me in the nuts. And I said, stop it. Right now, you're not getting no tickets.
Out loud, use your voice?
Yeah, what was I supposed to do? And then I told the manager was over there. She's like, why'd you speak? I said, kept kicking me. Kept telling him no with my fingers, like you said. He didn't listen to me.
No wagging finger.
And then they fired me because I got in a wreck and hurt my back.
No.
You remember that?
I do remember you getting in a wreck.
I hurt my
Yeah.
back real bad. And
Yeah.
I broke it. The lower part. And then they were like, "Ooh, we need you Saturday." I was like, "It's Friday."
How? Like, no.
And they're like, "Okay, well, you're gone." I was like, "Screw you too. I hated that job."
But I mean, sometimes you have to do jobs you hate
Yep.
temporarily
Make pizzas.
to get to where you need to be.
I can blast Chuck E. Cheese and get them off
Really?
the map if I wanted to.
Don't, because
I'm not going to.
I might have to go back there one day, and I don't want to
Just-
think about it.
I'll tell you this.
You tell me off the air.
Don't eat the food.
Ugh.
It's
I ate
real
it for like
food.
one time.
It's real food, but it's what happens with the food.
I believe it. It doesn't. It looks sketch. It looks like back there behind
No,
the
it's not
scenes.
that. It's. I'll take it off there. I'll take it off there.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
gonna
talk
be
about it
like,
off the air. They're gonna be like, "Oh my God, what they say?" I'm not about to be in a lawsuit with you. Talking about. We haven't said anything wrong.
All right, what was your last question now?
Last question. If you had it to do all over again, would you change anything? Talking about life, podcasts, just in general.
Just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the podcast, because you learn from podcasts, right?
Right.
There were a couple things that I chose to do in my life that I take away. But the bullying and learning, no.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm working with people and I'm trying to start a foundation for people getting bullied. That's one of my main goals. And because of those, it's led me to this. But I would, it's not too late, but I would go to college right out of school. I didn't. I took a semester break.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started back. And then I fell in love with podcasting. And I said, because it was hard juggling a job, podcast every day of the week, and going to school every day.
Mm-hmm.
That was hard. But a lot of stuff's harder. Like, your life's harder.
I wouldn't say my life's harder.
I mean, you got 4 jobs. You still working with the county?
Literally. No, not on the contract. No.
No more?
Not contracted, but I'm still on the chamber,
That's
board
what
of admins.
Okay.
Yeah, I still sit on the boards. I sit on a lot of boards.
So got a lot of emails to catch up on.
Gosh, I have like 4 email accounts to juggle and check and respond to every.
It's nuts.
It's a lot.
It's crazy.
Plus school, plus slinging houses.
You sold it now?
Still consulting. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
I got one under contract right now.
You didn't get a percentage this time, did you?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it didn't work like that.
You always get a percentage.
No, I know, but I thought once you sell your first couple of houses, it goes to the realtor place.
So you didn't watch my podcast. No, not my podcast, but no. So you get a percentage. So like your brokerage, whatever brokerage you're with, like they get a percentage, you get a percentage.
Yeah.
So with Exit, 70-30 split. So we get 70% and the brokerage gets 30. Which the brokerage.
I thought it was gonna be the other way around. You got 30 and they got 70.
Yeah, brokerage technically gets 20, and then we have a give back type program where you can sponsor somewhere in. So whoever people that I sponsor in, I get 10% of everything of their commission. So everything they sell as well. So you have residuals. That's why I went with this company.
So you working at $1 million houses?
Hey, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there
People
fast.
make millions and millions of dollars just selling houses.
I love it though. Like I love, you know me. I love anything where I'm not sitting in the office
Do you have to make
from 9
cookies
to
and
5.
stuff like that for house shows?
No, I haven't had any open houses with COVID. People still have them, but
that's what
I
they
haven't
still
had
have
any. But hey, when it
was
comes
just
down
you
to
and me,
it,
I was wearing a mask.
I will bake some cookies. I know my mask is in the room. Did I have it? I'm like, did I have it on my ears? But yeah, when it comes down to it, I'll bake and make whatever. That's what you do to get the sales and get things done. For sure.
But yeah, there are a couple of things that I would redo. No, none that I would say on here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not bad. It's just
No, but I get it.
Some stuff you don't out there.
Yeah. I get it. Well, I have enjoyed this interview, and I thank you so much for asking me your favorite interviewee ever on the Hodgepodge podcast.
Arguably.
You didn't have to say it because I know.
Arguably.
Yeah. I know I'm
I
at the
think
bottom.
you're actually.
Do I still who has the highest I had the most listeners for the podcast I did for a long time. Somebody ended up beating me though. Someone has more than me.
Huh?
I thought someone, there was a guy, I can't remember who. Remember you were like, oh, he's right there. Like he had almost as many hits as I had. I think he,
Yeah, I don't remember who that was.
yeah, I think he ended up beating me. It's okay, but in my mind, I still have the most. That's all that matters.
Okay.
So what's next for you?
Going home. No, I have. Here's a crazy thing that I told, Big Shrimp from Big Shrimp Radio.
Do you like you did me? Put it out there.
That you're gonna have days and weeks where you're not gonna have nothing, and you're just gonna fall into the slope. He did that a few months ago, and was like, "I'm done with the show. I'm done." And I said, "See, I told you."
Told you.
And then it happened to me. Like,
wow.
I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was just down in the. I wasn't getting. Nobody would reach back out. Nobody was reaching out. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I've hit it right here at the 400 mark." And then like this week, there's like three a day, and I'm like, "Oh God, how am I gonna?" And then you go, "How am I gonna juggle 3 a day?" And then you just.
Yeah.
But next is I don't know, 400 episodes. Let's see, 500.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully.
You think you'll ever stop? Never. That's really what I thought you were gonna say and do that.
Depends. It depends. Like that, the job offer that I was struggling with that one day. They wanted me to stop, and I was like, it kind of. I'm not gonna lie, it crossed my mind. Because it was just like, but then it was like, you know what? No.
You gotta follow your heart.
Yeah.
You gotta do what's gonna make you happy.
And then like that week, I booked like the biggest guest that has yet to air, and
Yeah.
it was.
We're all excited about that one.
That's gonna be controversial.
Well, I'm excited. I don't even know who. Don't tell me. Don't tell me off the air either.
It's that Shirley Phelps chick.
Oh, it's that one.
She's not the biggest one, but it was.
No, but it's gonna be a lot of. You're gonna get some emails.
I'm scared.
You're gonna get.
I was gonna put it out.
You're gonna get emails. You're gonna get a couple DMs.
Oh my goodness.
You're gonna get tagged and.
But here's the thing with that. I wasn't gonna go in. It was Big Shrimp.
That was heated.
It wasn't my get. It was somebody. It was Big Shrimp's get, and I was like, hey, I actually know these people, and I jumped on, and I was like, the goal was because if you see all their interviews going in at them, and it was like, okay, we want to get in your brain. Why do you think this? It was a good chat, and I wasn't bailing her. I wasn't punching her. I wasn't doing anything. And then she had asked me, "How dare you ask that question?" And I said, "All right." Took the gloves off, and I said,
and it got ugly. It got so ugly. I think I heard a snippet. That's what it is.
I sent you a snippet.
It was like, I was like, oh,
this
is going to be good.
Because I wanted to hit on something that you had mentioned before. I'm not going to say on here.
Right. Yep.
Because I want to know what her thought was. And her thought was, you got to stay with this person no matter what. What? Are you And it was like, if you're gay, you don't believe in God. And I'm like,
you're like, how can you?
And
and
the most controversial quote I ever said on that podcast, it's going to be on that podcast, where I said, she was like, if you support all this stuff, you're not for Jesus. And then I said, well, if that's the Jesus you serve, then I'm glad to go to hell. And it was just, I had a moment, and it's like, maybe I should take that out, but it was in good context, I think. But that's what's next.
Yeah,
controversies.
That's gonna, Well, I can't wait to hear it all. Happy 400th episode. Anniversary.
Just 4 episodes. I don't think it's an anniversary.
It's like of your...
The anniversary of the podcast was on my birthday, the 19th, so.
Happy 400th episode.
There you go.
Just leave it.
Sure.
It's been fun. Thanks for having me on.
You gonna close it out? Is that your close it out?
That's my closeout.
Oh, okay.
Thanks
That's
for
your closeout.
listening.